Hey guys, just wanted to do a quick follow-up to the last video. I got quite a few people asked me how I routed out this area for the stone. So I thought I'd show you that. As you can see, I got the couple of thin layers of goop on here, so it's nice and sturdy now, and it came out okay. Lost a bit of detail in here, which of course I expected to, but it's good enough. And once I black wash this and dry brush it, a lot of detail will come back. But we're not here to talk about that. We're actually here to talk about the routing. So I'm not actually going to do the routing here because I'm not in a ventilated area, and that's not good. You want to make sure that you're in a ventilated area, because this foam dust that comes off of here when you're using a Dremel is really nasty. The other thing you want to make absolutely sure you have is safety glasses. Always wear safety glasses when you're using a Dremel. Alright, so I've got my Dremel here, and what I did was I put in a routing bit. See if you can see what that looks like. So it's kind of flat on the tip, and it's got cutting blades on the edge. And then I got there's a routing adapter for Dremels. So you screw that on. Okay, and then it's got an adjuster here for your height, so you can actually slide this thing up and down like this to get the height you want. So what I did is I figured out what height I wanted. Let's make sure I'm keeping you in frame here. So I just set it on here, figured out the height that I wanted, got it all set. So you can see my blades sticking out a bit from the bottom of this. Okay, so it's an 1/8 inch down is what it worked out to be. And then what I did was I just started routing this out, and just went really careful around the edges first, routing this out. And this was a slow, tedious process. But then the tricky part became, this thing is only so wide. So if I had routed all this out and just stuck it down in there, it would have gone down another 1/8 inch, and I'd have just had a mess. So what I had to do is I had to actually cut this out in strips. So I'd make a strip not wider than this, and then go over and cut another strip. So I had a bunch of lines down this thing. Then I flipped it the other way and made kind of a checkerboard pattern. So then I just had some things still sitting up here. And so then I just took one of these knives, put it out real far so I could get it down even, and just sliced those extra pieces off. So that was quite a pain in the butt. So now I'm going to, now that you know how I did it, I'm going to tell you how a sane person would actually do this. What I realized after I did this is that had I set up some kind of arm rig and actually just attached my Dremel to it at the proper height, so that I could then just move this thing around under the Dremel, that would have made my life so much easier. So anyway, that's how I did it, which is probably not the way you should do it. Just get a couple of pieces of wood, attach them together, make kind of an L with an arm overhanging that's got enough room for your piece to get under. Clamp it to the edge of a table, clamp your Dremel up to it, make sure it's very secure because you don't want the Dremel moving. Get it at the right height, and then just move your piece around under it. And then for the edges, some of them are a little rough still, but that's okay because this is actually going to be halfway under the edge of the building. But I just went back with a knife and cleaned up the edges a little bit. So I wasn't too terribly worried because, like I said, most of it's going to be under the edge of a building. But oh, one of the other things, before I routed, I actually scored this all with a knife. So I went around with a knife and cut this down, so I know where the edges were. And when I routed, it cleaned it up pretty good. And then I just had to do a little cleaning around the edges. So anyway, that's how I did it. Hope that answered your questions. If you've got any more, just let me know, and I will continue working on this. We'll be back soon, and until then, you guys have a good one. Bye.